Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Before we go over to the headlines, Rajya Sabha TV appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. And now, let's get you the headlines. At the India-Italy Bilateral Summit, Prime Minister Modi underscores the need to be prepared for a post-COVID world full of opportunities and challenges. Both countries conclude 15 agreements in different fields. Single-day COVID-19 recoveries exceed new cases for the fifth straight week. Active cases now just 6.19% of the total cases. At 1.49%, India continues to have one of the lowest coronavirus death rates globally. Final phase of voting in Bihar tomorrow. Over 2 crore voters to decide fate of 1,200 candidates in 78 seats. By-election for Valmiki Nagar Lok Sabha seat to also be held. India will not accept any change in the situation at the line of actual control with China, says Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat. Asserts that Indian soldiers gave a fitting reply to Chinese belligerents in Ladakh. And on its decision to change the Kartarpur Sahib management, Foreign Ministry summons Pakistani diplomat, strongly demands that Islamabad withdraw its decision. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Friday that India wants to strengthen India-Italy relationship. Addressing the India-Italy virtual summit with his Italian counterpart Giuseppe Conte, Prime Minister Modi said that new avenues for cooperation would arise for both countries in the post-COVID era. Discussing ways to deal with the adverse impact of the coronavirus pandemic, the Prime Minister said that the COVID-19 pandemic will remain a watershed moment in history, just like the Second World War. He said that we need to adapt ourselves to the post-corona world and be ready for the opportunities and challenges arising out of it. In fact, the Prime Minister also expressed condolences for the losses due to the COVID-19 pandemic in Italy. He also praised the Italian Prime Minister for bringing a very difficult situation under control. The Italian Prime Minister also stressed on the need to enhance bilateral ties.
एक्सेलेंसी, आपकी तरह मैं भी भारत और इटली के संबंधों को और व्यापक और गहरा बनाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हूं। 2018 में टेक समिट के लिए आपकी भारत यात्रा और हमारी मुलाकात अनेक पहलुओं को स्पर्श करने वाली रही। भारत के लोगों के मन में भी इटली के प्रति एक नई जिज्ञासा पैदा करने वाली रही और यह खुशी की बात है कि 2018 में हमारी बातचीत के बाद आपसी आदान प्रदान में काफी गति आई है।
Both countries reviewed bilateral trade and economic ties during the summit. India and Italy also signed 15 agreements. A key country for India in Europe, Italy is the fifth largest trading partner of India in the European Union, and both sides are further keen to expand the economic engagement in a range of areas.
The bilateral economic cooperation was focused on diversification of supply chains. And if you see the agreements that were signed, coinciding with the summit. 15 agreements were signed, most in the private sector, and you will see a lot of investment decisions have been taken and cooperation between private sector entities. Agreements were signed most in the economic sector, in energy, in green energy, in wealth from waste, in renewables, and also some in the cultural aspects. In fact, there was a media agreement also between RCS and ANI on content sharing. So a wide gamut of agreements were signed, but most, I would say, were in the economic area.
India summoned the charge d'affaires of the Pakistan High Commission over the country's decision to transfer the management of Gurdwara Kartarpur Sahib from a Sikh body to a separate trust. India has lodged a strong protest with Aftab Hassan Khan, the Pakistani charge d'affaires, over this issue. MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said Khan was categorically told that the decision runs against the religious sentiments of the Sikh community. He also said the unilateral decision by Pakistan is highly condemnable and runs against the spirit of the Kartarpur Sahib Corridor Initiative, as also the religious sentiments of the Sikh community at large. The move comes a day after the Ministry of External Affairs condemned Pakistan's unilateral decision to transfer the management of Gurdwara Kartarpur Sahib from Pakistan's Sikh Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee to the Evacuee Trust Property Board in Pakistan.
We have pointed out that this unilateral decision by Pakistan is highly condemnable and it runs against the spirit of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor. Today evening, sometime back, the CDA of the Pakistan High Commission was summoned and our protest was lodged with them. We have conveyed that this decision runs against the spirit of the Kartarpur Sahib corridor. It has also hurt the religious sentiments of the Sikh community at large. We have been receiving representations from the Sikh community expressing grave concern at this decision by Pakistan, which targets the rights of the minority Sikh community in Pakistan. And we have conveyed that Pakistan needs to reverse its arbitrary decision which deprives the Sikh community of its right to manage affairs of the holy Gurudwara Kartarpur Sahib.
On the ongoing border standoff with China in eastern Ladakh, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat said on Friday that the Chinese military is facing unanticipated consequences for its misadventure in the region because of firm responses by the Indian forces. Addressing a virtual seminar of the National Defence College, he said that the situation along the line of actual control remained tense, reiterating that India will not accept any shifting of the line of actual control. The Chief of Defence Staff also added that as India grows in stature, security challenges will also rise proportionately.
The PLA is facing unanticipated consequences of its misadventure in Ladakh because of the Indian Defence Forces' firm and strong response. Our posturing is unambiguous. We will not accept any shifting of the line of actual control.
Meanwhile, Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria also said that Indian Air Force's strong posturing during Ladakh standoff helped India ward off any threat from China.
AFR remains vital for not only ensuring victory in any conflict, but also is most crucial for providing a degree of assurance in strengthening regional peace and security initiatives. A modern Air Force operating in synergy with Army and Navy will ensure that India fulfills its role as a net security provider.
Talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, single-day COVID-19 recoveries in India exceeded daily new infections for the 5th straight week, while the number of active cases maintained a sustained decline. They form only 6.19% of the country's total caseload. There is also a continuous decline in average daily new cases for the 5th week. More than 54,000 COVID-19 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. Recoveries so far have crossed 77,65,000. India has a tally of over 84 lakh COVID-19 cases. More than 47,000 new infections were reported in the last 24 hours. Total deaths have gone up to nearly 1,25,000, with 670 deaths reported in the last 24 hours. Active cases totaled 5,20,773 and form 6.19% of the total caseload. The recovery rate of COVID-19 patients currently stands at 92.32%. Currently, death rate is 1.49%, which is one of the lowest globally. The Union Health Ministry said 80% new recovered cases are in 10 states and union territories. Maharashtra has the maximum of over 11,000 single-day recoveries. 79% new cases are from 10 states and union territories. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, over 12,20,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. Total samples tested so far have crossed 11 crore 54 lakh. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said on Friday that India will use its strength in vaccine production and delivery to help all of humanity in fighting the coronavirus crisis. During an interaction with ambassadors and high commissioners of foreign missions in India, Harshvardhan Shringla said that India will also help interested countries in enhancing their cold chain and storage capacities for the delivery of vaccines. He reiterated that India is on track to develop the vaccine. He also said that India is also exploring the possibility of conducting phase 3 trials in a few of our partner countries. Shringla informed that the government is planning to take a delegation of resident envoys for a tour of vaccine and diagnostic facilities in Pune. The Environment Ministry has constituted the Commission for Air Quality Management in NCR and adjoining areas. The commission will be chaired by M.M. Kuti. Kuti, an ex-secretary of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, has been selected as the chairperson of this commission. On the 29th of October, the centre had issued an ordinance on constituting a commission to coordinate, resolve issues, implement air pollution management strategies in Delhi NCR. The Commission, along with all the states, will work to end pollution in Delhi NCR and adjoining areas.
जो प्रदूषण की समस्या है उसका ठीक प्रबंधन करने के लिए एक सरकार ने अध्यादेश निकालकर आयोग की स्थापना की है। इस आयोग की अध्यक्षता पेट्रोलियम के पूर्व सचिव और दिल्ली के पूर्व मुख्य सचिव डॉक्टर एम.एम. कुट्टी करेंगे। 2 विशेषज्ञ के रूप में आईआईटी के दिल्ली के मुकेश खरे और मेट्रोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट के पूर्व सचिव के.जे. रमेश और उसके साथ जो एनजीओज है तो टेरी के अजय माथुर और वायु प्रदूषण एक्शन ग्रुप के आशीष धवन, इनकी नियुक्ति हुई है।
Time for a short break here. More news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Frank Rausen Pereira, at 9:30 p.m.
Defeat coronavirus. Let us always remember, wear a mask. Wash hands. Follow physical distancing. Together, we'll succeed. Together, we'll win against COVID-19.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. Union Home Minister Amit Shah said on Friday, in fact, he asked the West Bengal Chief Minister to come out with a white paper on the political killings in the state. Addressing a press conference on the second day of his 2-day visit to West Bengal, Amit Shah said that the Citizenship Amendment Act is in place and will be implemented. He also said that the BJP aims to build a strong Bengal in a new era of development. He accused Mamata Banerjee government of playing appeasement politics in the state.
एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का संपूर्ण राजनीतिकरण करा है, राजनीति का संपूर्ण अपराधीकरण करा है और भ्रष्टाचार को इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज करने का काम ममता बनर्जी ने किया है। भ्रष्टाचार के उदाहरण मैं देना नहीं चाहता, कई बार मैं बंगाल की जनता और आप लोगों के सामने बोल चुका हूं, पूरी सूची है मेरे पास, आप पूछोगे सवाल में तो बता भी दूंगा। मगर साइक्लोन और कोरोना की महामारी में भी सहायता में भी भ्रष्टाचार करने से तृणमूल की कैडर नहीं चुकी है।
Earlier in the day, Amit Shah addressed the Samajik Samuh Samvad in Kolkata, where he interacted with various communities of West Bengal. Addressing the party workers in Kolkata, he said that there was a need to restore West Bengal's lost glory. Amit Shah also offered prayers at the Dakshineshwar temple on Friday morning. He said that he prayed for the well-being of the entire state, the country and its people. He alleged that the politics of appeasement was hurting the glorious tradition of Bengal. Amit Shah also paid a visit to Nabin Biswas, member of the Matwa community in Gaurang Nagar, and had his lunch with the family. He was accompanied by BJP National General Secretary Kailash Vijayvargiya, BJP National Vice President Mukul Roy and State Party Chief Dilip Ghosh. Elaborate security arrangements have been put in place for the third and final phase of Bihar Assembly elections. 78 constituencies spread over 15 districts, including Kishanganj, Katihar, Madhepura and Supaul, will go to polls in this phase on Saturday. Over 2.35 crore electorate will decide the fate of 1,204 candidates, which include 110 women. Polling will be held from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Polling will be held up to 4 p.m. in 4 Naxal-affected constituencies of Valmiki Nagar, Ramnagar, Simri Bakhtiarpur and Maisi. Election Commission has instructed to follow COVID protocol during the conduct of elections. The BJP is contesting on 35 seats, JDU on 37 and Vikassheel Insan Party on 5 seats. The Hindustani Awam Morcha has fielded 1 candidate, while RJD is contesting on 46 seats. Congress has fielded candidates in 25 seats, and the left parties have 7 candidates in the fray. On the other hand, the Lok Janshakti Party is contesting on 42 seats, RLSP from 23 and BSP from 19. The NCP has fielded candidates on 31 seats. Elections are being held in 3 phases for the 243-member Bihar Legislative Assembly. The first and second phase of polling was held on 28th of October and 3rd of November, respectively. The counting of votes is scheduled to be held on the 10th of November. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday asked the new generation to learn from the life and virtues of Lord Rama and move on the righteous path shown by him for a successful and fulfilling life. Launching the book titled Tavasmi, Life and Skills Through the Lens of Ramayana, Naidu said that Lord Rama's life, words and actions define how Satya and Dharma, which is truth and righteousness, can become a part of everyone's life. Referring to Lord Rama as Maryada Purushottam, the Vice President said that he was a great ruler who epitomized good governance and always remains in people's hearts. He described Ramayana as an immortal epic embedded in India's collective cultural heritage and underlined the fact that the values espoused by Lord Rama have inspired numerous poets and saints to compose Ramayana in different languages.
There is probably no other epic in the world that has been retold, resung, rewoven in so many fascinating ways. Sage Valmiki's original Ramayana is known as Adi Kavya, the first epic. It also called as Anadi Kavya because it is timeless, eternal, and does not lose its relevance in any life context. It enchants the scholarly as well as the common, unfettered citizen.
The first meeting of the Standing Committee on Water Resources 2020-21 was held on Friday. After the reconstitution of the Parliamentary Standing Committees, Lok Sabha member Dr. Sanjay Jaiswal has been appointed as chairman of the Committee on Water Resources. The committee considered the selection of subjects for examination during 2020-21. It also considered and adopted 4 draft reports on action taken by the government on recommendations contained in the report on demands for grants of the Jal Shakti Ministry. Members representing the upper house on the Committee on Water Resources are Sardar Balwinder Singh Bhundar, Harshvardhan Singh Dungarpur, Mir Mohammad Fayaz, Kirodi Lal Meena, A. Mohammed Jan, Arun Singh, Subhash Chandra Singh, Revati Raman Singh, Pradeep Tamta and N.R. Ilango. From the Lok Sabha, members on the Committee on Water Resources include Vijay Baghel, Bhagirat Chaudhary, Nihal Chand Chauhan, Nandkumar Singh Chauhan, Chandra Prakash Chaudhary, Guman Singh Damor, Hina Vijay Kumar Gavit, Dr. Sanjay Jaiswal, Dr. K. Jaikumar, Kaushal Kishore, Dhanush Kumar, P. Ravindranath Kumar, Muhammad Akbar Lone, K.G. Madhav, Hasmukh Somabhai Patel, Sanjay Kaka Patil, Deep Singh Shankar Singh Rathore, Nusrat Jahan Ruhi, Agatha Sangma, D.K. Suresh and A. Narayanaswamy. An exclusive standing committee was created on the 5th of August 2004 to give focused attention to issues relating to water resources under Rule 331C of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha. The Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, and Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation are under the jurisdiction of the committee. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. And the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Urban Development also met on Friday. The panel, headed by Lok Sabha MP Jagdambika Pal, is examining and will report on air pollution in urban areas, including Delhi NCR. On the agenda was the hearing of evidence from representatives of the Ministries of Housing and Urban Affairs, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Health and Family Welfare, and also officials of the Central Pollution Control Board and state governments of Delhi, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab on steps taken to prevent air pollution in Delhi and NCR, with emphasis on finding a permanent solution to the air pollution in the region. The panel also heard testimony on the implementation of Street Vendors, Protection of Livelihood and Regulation of Street Vending Act 2014. Representatives of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the state governments of Delhi, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab were heard on this issue. The committee is expected to examine subjects like management and planning of urban transport services and infrastructure and implementation of various metro projects and available alternatives. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. The Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019 also held its meeting on the day. The committee is eliciting the views of various stakeholders and heard from representatives of Bharti Airtel Limited and Truecaller on the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019. The bill intends to regulate the processing or usage of individuals' data by the state and private entities. The Parliamentary Committee on Petroleum and Natural Gas was briefed by the representatives of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare, the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy on the review of progress in production of non-conventional fuels with specific reference to biofuels. Lok Sabha member Ramesh Bidhuri heads the committee. The vote count in the US presidential election has reached a critical phase. Democratic Party candidate Joe Biden has considerably improved his position, even as Republican candidate President Donald Trump has questioned the electoral process. He has alleged improper ballot counting and also appealed to the court. When President Donald Trump met reporters at the White House on Thursday, he did not mince words. Claiming historic victories in Florida, Indiana, and Ohio, Trump alleged that efforts are being made to transform his victory into defeat. Trump has filed lawsuits in some states accusing the Democratic Party of manipulating the election.
And we think we will win the election very easily. We think there's going to be a lot of litigation because we have so much evidence, so much proof, and it's going to end up perhaps at the highest court in the land. We'll see. But we think there'll be a lot of litigation because we can't have an election stolen like this.
Trump's demand to stop counting in America have been met with criticism from many quarters, including members of the Republican Party. Republican Senator Mitt Romney from Utah tweeted that votes are the soul of any democracy and every vote should be counted. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, considered close to Trump, has also disagreed with the president. Democratic Party candidate Joe Biden has appealed to people to be patient.
Democracy is sometimes messy. It sometimes requires a little patience as well. But that patience has been rewarded now for more than 240 years with a system of governance that's been the envy of the world.
Counting trends show that Biden is leading in most of the states. Even in Pennsylvania and Georgia, where Trump had initially held the lead, the contest has become a close one. The same was the case with North Carolina. A win in any of these three provinces will confirm a Biden victory. But if the courts find merit on Trump's appeal and take action, there could be a delay in the results. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The Indian Space Research Organization has begun the countdown for the launch of 51st mission of Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, the PSLV. The carrier will deliver 10 satellites as its payload, with EOS-01 as the primary satellite. The 26-hour countdown began at 2 p.m. The launch is scheduled for 3:02 p.m. on Saturday from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. This will be the first launch this year. The primary payload, EOS-01, is Earth Observation Satellite designed for its uses in agriculture, forestry, and disaster management support. In addition to the primary satellite, there are 9 customer satellites being launched through the mission. And that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave, we once again appeal and urge all our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly, and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple steps are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Good night and thanks for watching.